supposed to. Watch out for the people that ain't close to. Speak a little something you could toast to. I ain't tryna hear about what you won't do. Moving like I'm into. Hit the ground running like the rent do. Speak a little something that you're into. I ain't tryna hear about what you been through. Like hold up, say what's the hold up. I got the pack, who got the roll up? I'm tryna pull up. It seem like every time I show up, it gotta go up. See the drip, they see the glow up. Oh, now they know us. See, it's funny how my pockets out of shape, but I fit for the flex. Clear the phone call, hit my chick with a text. Parlay through the bird with my drip from the jets. Save a couple hundred by your with the rest. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Ayy, winning like I ought to. I ain't wanna do it, but I got to. Smoking what my doctor told me not to. Got these wishing they was hot too. Ballin' like I need to. Got my exes wishing for a redo. Smell the marijuana when I speed through. Hit her with the tip, that's a preview. Hold up, wait up, get your weight up. Shit, get your money, not your hate up. Boy, draw a play up. I flip my wrist, a layup. She wanna lay up. I gotta get it, I'ma stay up. I'm all the way up, I got my pay up. I ain't playing with you, I'm a coach now. Commentating, do the most now. I be somewhere booted with my toes down. Make little baby tooted with her nose down. I prefer my reefer with Henny and Coke. Please don't be stingy, got plenty to smoke. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live. Seem like they doing the most for the clout. Did what I said so they know what I'm about. Show up and act up and back to the crib. I do not stun, I just rap what I live.
Showtime! What's up, good people? Good. What is it, Monday? Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday, right? No, it's Monday. It's been a blur. It's been a blur. But let me know that you can hear me by typing "too done" in the chat. Too done if you can hear me, because I am too done with this story, with the twists and the turns of this story and the research. Because we went live last night, I really thought that I would just add a couple little pieces in, see what maybe happened today, and then we're going to talk about kind of the comments that I saw in the chat last night, because I did watch a little bit of the replay last night. It was 2 hours, so I didn't get through the whole thing, but y'all had so many great comments and things I wanted to commentate on. I was like, what I'll do is do a live stream today, and then we'll do that. I'll dig a little deeper into what you guys are talking about. Well, we ain't gonna have as much time for that as I thought, because as I started to do more research, there are so many more twists and turns. I'm exhausted. I'm literally mentally exhausted from this story, but we got a whole lot to talk about to help fill in the gaps as we unpack. And as we do that, please make sure that you have liked the video. Thank you for the 93% of you. It just dropped. It's a 91%, but thank you for everyone who has liked this video thus far. Please like it as soon as you can. Hit that thumbs up. You can even hit the thumbs down. Honestly, it's engagement. Don't matter to me either way. But also, please consider subscribing to this channel if you have not as of yet. We'd like to do deep dives over here. We like to share all of the information, good, bad, or indifferent, but we just like to be informed, and we like to do it with a little bit of shenanigans as well. So, and we have some of our more lighthearted stories coming up soon, later this week, I'm pretty sure, if this story doesn't just keep continuing, but I'm probably going to take a break from it, to be honest. But today we have more to discuss with the perplexing story of Carlee Russell out of Alabama that has really, as we know, captured national attention, and the circumstances surrounding her disappearance and subsequent return have left many of us, as we said yesterday, many of us are baffled still, even with everything that has come out about this story. So some of the things we're going to do today, tonight, this evening, is we're going to recap the story. We'll revisit the initial background of it just very briefly for those who may not be as familiar. Maybe they weren't with us yesterday. Then we're going to talk about some of the developments or rumors, whatever you want to call it, as it pertains to the boyfriend, her relationship with him. Also, some more supposed alleged evidence. You don't know with some of this stuff if it's real or not, but supposedly some dispatcher call that talks about, when she was discovered, allegedly. I ain't believing it. I'm gonna let y'all know I don't believe it, but I'm gonna play it for y'all anyway. Also, we're gonna talk about what the little bit that the police has been sharing with us has started to kind of let us know that it ain't what we thought it was originally. Just, we all have enough experience with cases, these viral news stories, unfortunate stories of situations similar to this. And the way the police is behaving is very much so like, y'all good. The public, don't worry about this. This is a private situation that we're going to handle. And then one day we're going to tell y'all, or hope y'all forget. Either or. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk about that as well. And then some of the social media pieces that are out there, the social media claims, unraveling the rumors, lies, fake stories, and maybe some of the truths. We'll see. So you guys are going to work through this with me. Thank you for everyone who let me know that you could hear me by saying "too done." We got Braylin, maybe, I'm sorry if I'm probably butchering it. Marianne, his MJ, Felicia, J Rev, Brand, Chocolate. I'm only doing first names because it's quicker. Diamond, Dawn, Black Q, Precious, and Marlena, and naturally us, and Nicole, and LeBron's, and everyone else. It's too many names to name. But thank you for everyone who let me know that you can hear me. And Also, I just did this poll to see, are you tired of the coverage of this story? 26% of you say yes, and 74% of 75% just jumped. So 25 yes, tired of the story, and 75% of you are not tired of the story. And I kind of figured that's why we're back tonight talking about the same thing, because I'm like, nah, I'm getting behind on my schedule originally. I had like a bunch of topics we're going to talk about this week, but we'll see what we can get through. But anyway, so we know that, hold on, I'm forgetting I got video images and stuff to play for y'all too. We know that Carlee Russell is the Alabama woman who vanished after stopping on the highway to help allegedly a lost child. I'm hearing, we were saying toddler at first. Now the child has moved in age to 3 or 4 years old. I'm like, Jesus, the story just keeps evolving. And that's Carlee, I'm sure you guys know that, but that's her. One of the videos I got of her. And anyway, she went missing. She returned home Saturday night, ending the mysterious disappearance that launched a 2-day statewide search for the 25-year-old nursing student. And she returned to her family's home on foot on Saturday night, and local police were called around 10:45 p.m. and transported her to a nearby hospital. The police department in Hoover, Alabama said in a statement that on Thursday night, Russell went missing on I-459 in Hoover, a suburban city of about 92,000 people located south of Birmingham. After calling 911 to report that a small child in a diaper and cowboy boots, if you were here last night, that's not official, but that's an inside joke for those of you who were here last night. So a child in diapers was lost. And see, that's what I'm saying, because something I was hearing today, somebody was saying 3 to 4 year old, and I forgot if it was the mom or something. They know a 3 or 4 year old, well, a 4-year-old for sure should not be wearing a diaper. 3-year-old could depend on a few things. Shouldn't, but it could depend. Anyway, she said the child was lost and wandering along the side of the freeway. Afterwards, she stopped to check on the child and called her brother's girlfriend. Another conflict, because I heard her call the fiance. I heard her be called the girlfriend. The mom in the press conference called her daughter-in-law. Daughter-in-law means they're legally married, but I don't know. Anyway, so the brother's girlfriend, who heard Russell ask the child without a response if they were okay, followed by Russell suddenly screaming, and then the sound of the interstate, according to Russell's mother. And when the officers arrived on the scene, there were no signs of Russell or a child, but they found her car running, her wig, phone, and purse containing her Apple Watch and AirPods at the scene. She returned home, ending a 2-day statewide search that caught national attention, sending social media into a frenzy as people speculated on the circumstances surrounding her disappearance, and continue to do so. Continue. That ain't stopped. That ain't slowed down. It's actually increased, I think. Anyway, after she was found, Russell's boyfriend released a statement on his Instagram saying, partially in quote, fighting for her life for 48 hours and mentioning, quote unquote, kidnapper. Police have not confirmed whether they believe a kidnapper was involved. And so we will get more into that in a second, but I'm gonna play this for y'all. Take a swig of water.
Carlee Russell is over.
Oh, I shouldn't have did that. It's coming. It's loading up.
Search for Carlee Russell is over. The missing 25-year-old nursing student returned to her family home Saturday night. Police say she arrived alone and on foot. Angela Harris helped lead the community's search for her.
You spoke to this family moments after Carlee came home.
Right.
What did they say?
It was just kind of like a very emotional phone call. I just broke down and I said, is she okay? And she said, I don't know, she seems to be okay. She just seems to be in shock.
Officials say Russell was taken to the hospital for evaluation and has since been released. Her safe return putting an end to a days-long search that began Thursday night with a puzzling 911 call. Police say Russell told an emergency operator she saw a toddler walking alone on an interstate.
459 South, mile marker 10, going to be a child walking on the 3 or 4-year-old child walking on the side of the interstate.
It's believed she then stopped to check on the child and was on the phone with a family member when she disappeared.
She heard a scream and then some type of running type shuffle.
Russell's parents horrified.
I just felt immediately that she was in danger.
Video from the interstate where Russell vanished shows a car driving slowly with its flashers on.
Right, so just be advised, her vehicle is unlocked, running. All her personal belongings you can set for her phone.
Police say when they arrived, they found Russell's car, her cell phone and purse on the road nearby. But there were no signs of Russell or a child. An urgent search ensued, both on the ground and on social media.
I need everyone to stop and pay attention.
Where her disappearance quickly went viral. Celebrities including Wanda Sykes, Viola Davis, and Octavia Spencer spreading the word. Still, questions remain about where Russell was for those 48 hours and who she was with. A man identifying himself as Russell's boyfriend writing on social media she was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours and that she is not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper. The police chief telling NBC News in a phone call they've spoken to Russell and are following up on the information she provided.
Wrong button. So yeah, that's the news story on that. Just giving a brief recap. They are also saying the police officers responded to the scene within 5 minutes of Russell's 911 call and found her car abandoned on the side of the interstate. They also located Russell's wig, which who's that? Dozel was asking if it was glued down or clipped down. I guess that's important to some people. I guess it should, determine how easy or hard it was to get the wig off. But anyway, near her vehicle and her Apple Watch was in the purse. However, they were unable to find her or a child in the area. And I think that's something a lot of people are honing in on is where is this child? Where is this toddler with or 3 to 4-year-old toddler with the diapers and the cowboy boots? Where is this child? However, a single witness, now this is something new I hadn't heard before. Y'all let me know if y'all have heard this, but they're saying, however, a single witness has reported spotting a quote unquote light complected male standing outside of Russell's car. According to police, there's no further information available about that person. So I don't know if that's in a part of the clip that we haven't seen. I've only seen, I think the surveillance video from the highway cameras. I think the clip I saw was maybe 4.5 minutes or so. So I don't know if, that some piece of it didn't get cut. Well, no, because the police were there after that. So I don't know. But anyway, they're saying someone said that they did see a light complected male. Question is, who called this in? Was that a false report? Anyway, the police did obtain video surveillance footage, which we already know, of the interstate that shows the moment when Russell's car pulled, when she pulled over her red Mercedes-Benz and slowly drove forward with her headlight flashing. And the footage is grainy and doesn't depict anyone else pulling their car over after Russell and before the police showed up. However, they are working to clarify the footage, police said. The other thing that's been brought up is the big number that there was $63,000 in reward money that was raised by the non-for-profit Crime Stoppers of Central Alabama for anyone with clues into Russell's disappearance. Of course, this was before she just arrived back home. They're saying following her return, the money is being sent back to the donor. So if you were one of the people or anyone who donated to find her, they will be getting their money back, or you will be getting your money back. And Bob Copas executive director of Crime Stoppers of Metro Alabama told AL.com that the Hoover police aren't requesting any payouts on this case. So the police aren't requesting any payouts. So to me, that's a level of a sign that we're, because now she's home, but we haven't heard anything about a kidnap or anything. So do you think that them canceling that $63,000 reward for more info means that there's no suspect? I don't know. I'm the jury's still out with me until I get an official story. I ain't gonna let y'all push me in no direction. It is what it is. I'm just giving y'all the information. No tomatoes. Don't throw no tomatoes. Anyway, about an hour prior to her disappearance, so they're giving like a little background, a timeline leading up to the moment when she called the police and all this and spotted the little toddler with the Pampers and cowboy boots. I need to stop saying that for somebody to believe that they said the baby got cowboy boots on. Anyway, about an hour prior to her disappearance, Russell left work for the day at the Woodhouse Spa where she worked part-time. After leaving work, she stopped to grab some Mediterranean food and left to head home around 9 p.m. Police released the traffic camera footage of Russell pulling over her red Mercedes-Benz. We talked about that. And we talked about the footage being blurry. They said she appears to have exited the driver's side and walk around to the back of the passenger side of the vehicle. And we saw that as well, as grainy as it was. You can kind of see that. And it says the police arrived 3 minutes after Russell's disappearance. Hoover Police Chief Nick Derzer said Saturday that the department reviewed the video and it's not the greatest, and is quoted as saying, in terms of quality, but they will continue to look at all footage for clues. And it says Russell reported a lost boy toddler in the, that they're saying that she, of course, reported. Now they're saying it's a boy. Even that, like at first, the mom was saying, well, maybe the mom wouldn't know what she reported to 911, but they're saying she said that Carlee said that it was a little toddler boy. So, and they're also saying that they have not received any more calls, about a missing child as of Sunday. Well, this is as of yesterday. So also something that that they're considering out there. It is unknown, and they're still searching about, trying to get the details on, but it's unknown where Carlee had been after she vanished. The police have yet to release further details surrounding her disappearance. Police said in a release that they were able to take an initial statement from Russell, and the details of the statement are a part of an ongoing investigation, which is expected to continue over the next few days. In a statement online, the family asked for privacy, which we talked about yesterday. We read the mom's post on social media, and they promised to give more details in the near future. So remember, they were saying that later this week, we should be getting more information. I ended up realizing yesterday when I read the boyfriend's post, it was actually a shorter version on Instagram, I think. So I have the longer version here. So I'm going to read it to refresh my memory as well. I'm not sure if I read this one. But anyway, let me mute this. So this is Carlee and her boyfriend in a social media post that they had up. And then let me pull his, where is it? Here it is. Make it bigger. I can barely see that. So he ended up posting on his Facebook page. I don't even know how to start off this post, but to only say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for saving my girlfriend's life. Also, thank you to everyone who shared a picture, came out to the Hoover Met to help us with the search party, and who went and proceeded to tell other people about Carlee to bring more awareness to the story. I have been going nonstop since I received the call that she was missing on Thursday night. I know she would have done the same for me, so I wasn't going to give up until I saw her face again. I was straight tunnel vision, even when I would get on social media and on my downtime and see some of the false allegations and assumptions about me having something to do with her abduction, and would have me discouraged at times. I didn't give up and kept my faith. I just want to thank all of my family, friends, former teammates, and church members who called or texted me to let me know that they are praying and here for me. You guys don't know how much that meant to me. All I ask from everyone right now is to be respectful of Carlee's situation. What situation this is, I don't know yet. She was literally fighting for her life for 48 hours. So until she's physically and mentally stable again, she is not able to give any updates or whereabouts on her kidnapper. This is at this very moment. I also want to thank the people on social media who has been understanding and respectful about what she's been through in the past few days. Once again, I can't thank you guys enough for helping us bring Carlee home. God bless you all. So that was the message I thought I was reading yesterday, and I had like the shorter Instagram version. So that's the boyfriend. That was his message. And yeah, that's where we're at with that. But, you know, social media has a whole other theory that we're going to get into. I know y'all probably, I don't have moderators right now, so I can't see what y'all saying, but I'm sure y'all already talking about that. But we're going to get to it. So anyway, allegedly, there's a police dispatch recording of Carlee being found. I guess what I'm getting into at this point is some of the speculation and just misinformation that's just going out there like, a waterfall, a flood. And then it's hard to disseminate and figure out what's what, because when I first listened to it, I was like, oh, wow, they haven't mentioned this part. But then as I started to use my critical thinking, I was like, I don't think this, like, I'm pretty sure it's not. But anyway, I'm still going to play it for you. So when you hear about it, or if you already have heard about it, we can talk more about it. Let me close out this poll because I got another one heading your way. Do you think canceling the $63,000 reward for any info means that there's no suspect? For 64% of you say yes, you think that means that there's no suspect, and 36% of you say that does not mean that in your opinion. Interesting. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, I think it's I'm starting to see a closer. It's getting closer and closer to a 50-50 split. I'm starting to see on social media as far as what people believe when it comes to this situation. And I think a lot of it is because I think a lot of it is because of all the questions that people still have, because there hasn't been any official news of what happened to cause this. What's happening in this moment once she got home, how she got home. But I also believe that once those answers do come, that people are still there's still gonna be a lot of speculation, etc. It's not gonna go away. That's how social media works. You'll never make it go away. There's gonna always be people who believe or disbelieve a situation, no matter how true it is or untrue. Anyway, so the poll I just put is, have you heard about this alleged emergency dispatch call? So we're going to listen to it now. I think it's a minute or something. I think it's a little distorted, but hey, it is.
11 respond 2029 nominally passed. Unresponsive female. 2011 rescue 11 nominally passed. Adult female unresponsive is breathing. Police are en route. Stage 4 police.
Engine 5 responding.
Engine 5 responding.
26. 2644. My apologies. Are you clear for traffic?
10-4.
Homeboy declaring it at the time and said please advise.
10-4.
2011 rescue 11 respond.
11 rescue 11 responding.
34. I sent you a 77 Ridge Crossing Department.
That will was advised. I'll be on service November 2247.
13. See if they can provide a vehicle description as well. Yeah, where we're trying to get further. 32. All right, we're on 34 to 77.
299 pass. Police are en route. Unresponsive email is breathing.
17.
717, confirming you're in service.
10-4 Charlie, I'll back up.
717, 2248.
35. I'm out with 5-2.
2248.
38, I'm 23. Be advised, we've got a large crowd out here in the street.
Quinn 11 on scene staging. Quinn 11 be not only passed. Quinn 11 be advised. Scene of security can go in.
Rescue with us. Gentlemen. 40, show me 23. Gentlemen.
299 passed. Police are en route. Unresponsive email is breathing. 717, confirming you're in service.
10-4 Charlie, I'll back up.
717, 2248.
35, I'm out with 5-2.
2248.
38, I'm 23. Be advised, we've got a large crowd out here in the street.
Quinn 11 on scene staging. Quinn 11 be not only passed. Quinn 11 be advised. Scene of security can go in.
Receive. Agent 5 is on scene. Huckleberry Command.
Agent 5 on scene, Huckleberry Command.
540 to 512.
12.
Hey, we should have all the family members that were here on the front porch.
Not only pass. Will you call X-ray 103? Have her call me, please.
Gentlemen.
11. Get her to come over here and just have her call me, okay?
Gentlemen.
Well, what time did we get this call?
Came in at 2244. 35, I'm on the scene.
And Carla.
If one patient en route to UAB by Rescue 11 with additional medic, only command terminated.
Out to UAB with additional medic. Command terminated.
Control, I can use one more just for an extra body over here.
42305.
X-ray 120-10-8 en route to UAB.
Temple. All units be advised who are doing traffic on Nunley, unless they have on their ID that address for that street, do not let them through for 13. 904. 904. Nunley, traffic control. Temple.
Rescue 11 out of UAB.
And out to UAB.
538. Be advised, 423. I'm going to be without radio inside.
Can I have my traffic unit switched to 5 with me?
13. I got a heavy traffic unit and it cut off at the end.
I need my unit there on traffic. Switch to 12 with me.
10-4, all traffic control units, switch to channel 12. 13. Currently we have 34, 32, 904, and 40 at that location. 38 at the hospital.
We have nothing holding though, correct?
Tell them the units to take care of whatever we have.
Cool. Thank you.
Rescue 11 complete UAB.
11 complete UAB.
X-ray 122. Show me out at 2029 Nunley.
Spoke with the individuals. They're heading in for the night cleaning up. Yeah.
So that was the dispatcher, like that was someone recording the police dispatch, not necessarily the 911 call, but how they're communicating with each other. And at first, I'm like, oh, wow, this is because where I heard this from, they presented it like, oh, Carlee was found breathing but unresponsive. But then when you think about the story that you're hearing out here is that she walked on foot home. Now, unless she got home and then passed out, like from exhaustion of, used her last strength to do that, it just wasn't making sense. But then they also said it was like a crowd of people in the streets and they were trying to block off the street and not let anyone else in. So then that wouldn't add up either because she wouldn't be in the street if she made it home, unless that's not the full story we're getting. But she made it to her door. I'm sure her family would have brought her inside of the home. So most likely that's probably another situation that occurred. There was no name ever spoken. They didn't even give any exact description so that we could compare and say, oh, this person they're describing is around that age or the same height and weight, et cetera, height or whatever. So anyway, just so you know that there are people reporting that there is a 911 call out there, but that is what they are describing. The poll that I just gave y'all says, have you heard about this alleged emergency dispatch call? 76% of you say, no, you have not. So after hearing what I just played for you, what are your thoughts about it? I just told you what I think, but what do you think after hearing it? There's your poll right there. So then we have a statement from the Hoover police chief, and he told the news outlets that they are giving the Russell family time that they requested to get them to, quote unquote, get themselves back together. And then he went on to say, when we think it's time to be able to sit down and have a conversation with Carlee and try to get some facts, we'll do that. So it's a very passive, very laid back approach, which, I mean, I get it in the sense of what she's been through, allegedly or whatever. But it's also like, well, I guess there's no threat to society, to the public, I guess. But he was also quoted as saying the main thing right now is for her to make sure she's okay. And the police have been unable to confirm whether there was a child on the highway. Carlee's 911 call remains the only timely report of a child on the interstate, the Hoover police said in the statement. So they're still, as of that was Sunday, as of Sunday, they are still saying that no one else has reported that there's been a missing child. The dispatcher told Carlee to stay with the child until the police arrived. Her mother told the New York Times. So basically, they're saying that the 911 dispatcher, I guess, is the one who told her, get out your car and go be with that child and stay with the child until the police come. We haven't heard that yet. I don't know if any of you have heard her 911 call. I have not. I haven't seen it out there. I think it probably would be everywhere if it was out there. But if you've seen it out there, let me know in the chat. It'll probably take me till I watch this back to see it. It's a lot of comments, but thank y'all. As far as the poll we just did, do you believe that this police dispatch call is regarding Carlee Russell? 30% of you actually say yes. I'm interested in the 30% of you to say, what do you think? What were the key factors? Because the only thing that was described was it was a female, they're outside, they're breathing but not responsive, there's a crowd. She lives in a city with over 94,000 people. That sounds very general. And other emergencies were occurring in the 2 days or 3 days that she was missing. There were other emergencies happening in that town. So I need some level of detail to help identify some identifiers, and I didn't hear any. But y'all let me know why you think that still could have been her or was her. And then 69% of you say no. I'm siding with y'all right now for sure. So I'm gonna play this for y'all. This is the actual interview that the chief of police did regarding what I just read to you guys.
To give Carlee and family a little time to get themselves back together. I know it's been a tough experience for them, obviously, and when we think talking with her parents, when we think it's time to be able to sit down and have a conversation with Carlee and try to get some facts, we'll do that. So. I don't want to really say a time frame. Again, the main thing right now is her to make sure that she's okay.
So the police is being extremely compassionate. The chief of police, and in this investigation, they're giving the family time, and then they will meet with the family and talk to Carlee in more detail when the family is able to do so. The question was, do you believe this police dispatch? Oh, that's not the sent y'all the wrong. I was wondering why the poll looked like that. Here's the question I really wanted to ask for the clip I just played y'all, the audio clip. I was cutting and pasting. It didn't cut and paste properly. So yeah, I'm interested in knowing, do you think that this sounds like the police, based on the chief's response there, very solemn, very like, this is a lot that the family's been through. We're not going to pressure them. We're going to allow them to speak when they are ready. Does that sound like the police know that there was no kidnapper? 85% of you are saying yes, and 16% of you saying no. I mean, it could also mean, that the suspect or perpetrator is also already in custody, but they usually say those things. This is so different than the norm. And I don't know what protocol is per se in a situation like this. I would think if there was a kidnapper on the loose, a predator, they would do like they always do and warn the public. If they were still searching for the person, they would do like they always do and give that information to the public so the public could assist with that, unless they know who the person is and they were already tracking the person. But it just seems this approach is very different. I think the vote has changed. I forgot what I said at first, but it's now 81% of you are saying yes, and 19% of you are saying no. This does not sound like the police are saying that there was no kidnapper. So moving along in the story, we now get to the part of the social media shenanigans. Social media has been a buzz, as y'all know. I'm sure many of y'all have been seeing this stuff. I ran into this today while researching for y'all, and I was appalled. But there was a TikToker who put out a video, and he put out a video for his sister Carlee when she was missing. The issue is people are now saying he is not her brother. So why would he put this out? And so it looks like there's a great possibility of some clout chasing of sorts, and really just not good human behavior. But let me know if y'all know this particular TikToker. He goes by Faith and Bishop 2. He goes by Faith and Bishop 2. I hadn't heard about him until I saw this, and this just didn't give me good vibes. But anyway, let's take a look.
My sister Carlee Russell is missing. My sister was traveling on I-459 after leaving work here in Hoover, Alabama. She spotted a toddler and she stopped to render aid, as any decent human being with a heart would do. She contacted 911 as she's been taught, and then she spoke with another one of our family members. My family member hears a scream, and then my sister vanishes along with that toddler. Her car and belongings were all left at the scene. We have no idea where she is. This story is not getting the national coverage that it should.
I'm muting a little bit because he wanted for effect to add in music, which y'all know can get copyright here on YouTube.
Since July the 13th, there's a $25,000 reward for information that leads to the safe return of my sister Carlee Russell. You can also contact 205-401-3365 if you have any information that can help. Again, my sister, our sister, deserves to be returned home safely. If you are a believer, you understand that we all are brothers and sisters in Christ. I hurt, she hurts, we all should hurt. And we all should help. Like, share, comment, so that we can get our sister, Carlee Russell, back.
So again, I had not heard about this, heard of him or seen him or anything on TikTok until I ran into this bit of the story. And of course, because he is not her brother, doesn't even know her, he got a reaming of his life over on them social media streets. And he then came back and did some damage control. And the poll I did was, do any of you follow this TikToker? And 100% of you say no. 100% of you don't know who he is. And then do you think he's intentionally, typo. Do you think he intentionally tried to act like he was really Carlee's brother? 66% of you say, well, just jump. 67% of you say yes, you think he intentionally tried to act like he was a brother. 32% of you say no. It's jumping a little bit. But anyway, I truly believe he absolutely did that on purpose. And I saw, it's hard to do this chat like this, but let me see. Oh, Jesus, a lot of comments. I just saw Kingdom. I ain't gonna be able to find it now. Kingdom, was it Kingdom Girl? Ooh, it was Kingdom Girl, but I can't find your comment now. But anyway, you were saying something to the effect of, yeah, it couldn't have been that many comments since you said that. Jesus. Okay, I saw it in the live chat, but you were saying, I wanted to read it verbatim, but anyway, you said it's our Christ family. So I get what you're saying, and I get what he was doing. He was manipulating. It's called clickbait. So he did that on purpose, where if you notice, he repeated my sister, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times before at the very end, he added in Christ. The truth is, the way the algorithm works and the way human attention spans work with social media is that most people will not watch till the end of your content, period. It's very, very rare. And when that happens, that's when things go viral. So when you see something go viral, that means that it has a high retention rate for viewership. And so the apps and these platforms love that. And so they'll send it out to more people. Therefore, millions of people are watching things, and then they go viral, et cetera, et cetera. So he knows this. He's a social media influencer. He has 100,000 followers on TikTok. I don't know how many he had before this situation, but it definitely garnered him some followers because people listened to the first half of that and then thought he was the brother and was like, oh, I'm following him, so I'll be getting quick updates from him. This is a family member. He's playing in our face. He's playing in our face. Playing in our face. So anyway, people came back, and he then came back with this part 2 of his video.
Update on our sister in Christ, Carlee Russell.
Now, do you notice? Now it's sister in Christ. Before it was my sister. He didn't say our sister in that first video. He didn't say that till like the after the 5th or 6th time he said my sister. Clickbait, y'all. Clickbait. Y'all gotta learn how this stuff works. Right, clown. Right, Ryan Hunter. Thank you, clown.
Thanks to many prayers, many shares, and the efforts of law enforcement and citizens, and especially our TikTok community, I am pleased to announce that Carlee Russell, our sister in Christ, has been found.
Now our sister. Notice the difference.
She has been found, and she's at UAB. This story could have had a tragic ending. There are still lots of unanswered questions, but tonight or this morning, none of that really matters. Carlee Russell is back with her family. Our sister in Christ, because we all are brothers and sisters in Christ. will be returning to her family. And that's the best possible outcome for a situation like this. I can rest now knowing.
This dude gonna get me copyrighted. All right, enough of him. I just realized he got a full song playing in the back. Hopefully YouTube don't catch that. I'll cut that out. But anyway, so yes, that was part of, and this is what happens when these things, you know, start to happen. People are going viral, etc. Like people grab onto this and they see it as a moment to grow. I'm seeing comments that I want to click on, and then I can't find them on this YouTube side. I mean, on this StreamYard side. Here it is. Honestly, this guy is low-hanging fruit. Yeah, I agree. I just want to point these sort of things out in the sense of, for one, I hate when people use God in the church and try to take advantage of people, but it's an easy way to take advantage of people because some people just go with it just because somebody mentioned God or give that church, you know, the vernacular and the intonation, and they know how to give that preacher deacon speak, and then people just like, oh, that's my brother. Oh, I believe everything he's saying now. He said he loved God. Like, y'all got to stop that. Y'all really need to stop that because the devil will use that. And so that it just grieves my soul when I see people using the body of Christ like that. But anyway, okay, yeah, enough of him. I'm just moving on. I had a couple other things, but enough of him. That irritated me. But anyway, there's been other things out there as well. I'll close this poll out before I move to the next one. So, do you believe that forgive these typos, y'all. I was multitasking. I'm trying to get on here for y'all. Do you believe that he posted this video for social media clout and to gain more followers? 95% of you say yes. 5% of you say no. That was his sister in Christ. Although he didn't say that to the very end of the video. Okay. Have at it. Go ahead and follow him, subscribe, give him some watch time. And so there have been other stories out there as well. There was one that sent me on a 2-hour research hunt for nothing, on a chasing my tail, thinking that I had more content related, because last night in the chat, I did see someone mention that this was not the only case of a woman coming up missing in Alabama. So I had that in the back of my head from seeing that, watching the chat after in the replay, not during our live stream, because I don't see a lot of them comments until after. But anyway, so that was in the back of my head. And I'm like, oh, I got to look into that. Well, then today I get a link of a story about a young lady who was 28 years old, missing in Alabama. She was missing from earlier last week. I think she went missing supposedly on that Monday or Wednesday. And long story short, so I started researching that story. Well, come to find out, it's fake, it's false. And they had confused the information with Carlee and made up a whole nother name. It was a news source that I've used before called Newsbreak. But that information was bogus, horribly bogus. And I didn't realize that until after I had completed notes. There's a system I have that helps me with all that. And then I started trying to find photos and other verifiable sources. And that's when I realized this is a bogus story. So I'm interested in any of you, and just as I thought, in this poll, I said, have you heard any other verified stories of a woman reported missing in Alabama recently? So now what I'm thinking is the person who posted in the chat last night may have possibly saw this story too and didn't realize it was a bogus story, didn't realize that they changed Carlee's name to some other name and gave a story very similar to hers, even talked about, you know, issues with the boyfriend and all this other stuff, but it just wasn't making sense. So anyway, yeah, that's out there. So be careful with that story. If you hear it, know that it's probably stemming from the same bootleg article that wasted almost 2 hours of my time today. But anyway, moving along, we have we'll get into the social media allegations, speculation, etc., complete with what people claim to be receipts. And y'all got to be careful with these receipts, because some people will say they got receipts, and then when you look, things ain't connecting, or it's like one piece of something. That's usually a good sign that it ain't really a full receipt. It's, them really gaslighting you. So we'll see. I'm just going to show you what's out here once again. But here's a post. No, that's not the post. Where is it? Here it is. Here's a tweet, rather. Someone tweeted, and they said that it's like y'all actually wanted her to be unalive. Y'all are weird. Hashtag Carlee Russell. They and they were replying to someone who tweeted, y'all equal, oh my God, I'm praying for her safe return. And then also, y'all, she returned safely. Oh, it's a hoax. So it's so they're basically being sarcastic, saying that it's almost as if there would not be a good outcome for her being found or coming back up. And instead of people being happy about that part, people are like, it's a hoax. She was supposed to not make it. She was supposed to be gone. And then we're supposed to, be, I guess, having rallies and creating foundations and stuff and GoFundMe's for services. So it's an interesting thought, and I'm aligned with it to a degree. Like, I can definitely see that perspective. But we still got to keep going. So the other side of that is what people have been posting. These are people who claim to know or have some level of insight into their personal world or insight into the investigation, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just showing y'all. So this person, this is like a text message exchange. Again, this is where you got to be careful with receipts, because when I can't tell where this came from, who talking to who, all of that, and it's just a screenshot of a text message, that don't mean nothing to me. But I'm just sharing with y'all. So anyway, they said captain of Hoover Fire Department. And I'm also sharing this because last night, again, watching the replay, seeing some of y'all comments, I was like, oh, this is where that comment was coming from. Now that I've seen this stuff, because I didn't see this stuff yesterday prior to us going live. So this one is captain of Hoover Fire Department. She got caught stealing from work that day, failed out of nursing school, and has been on drugs. I know, and they always put those sort of things on missing Black people too. I noticed that. But anyway, she had her friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. The police knew she was safe because she blocked her ex-boyfriend weeks ago, and she added him back while she was quote unquote abducted. He called the cops to tell them half a day before she went back home. She planned to disappear, realized that this wasn't going to work. Wild. So they're saying that's wild. This person then says she stole money from her work, completely fabricated story. Hoover just hit her phone and reviewed the video of the Red Roof Inn of her checking into her room. So, I know I've seen some of y'all talking about the Red Roof Inn hotel, motel, or whatever. And so they're talking about this. So I'm thinking this is where y'all been getting that from. Says, oh my Lord, I figured something shady was happening. I just want to know, did her family know or was in on it? Why would her family be? Okay, let me just, I gotta learn how to be impartial. Let me back up. This person is saying, no, the family didn't know. They tried to deny the Red Roof Inn story as it unfolded because they knew she was BS and didn't want the embarrassment. Says, man, that's horrible for her family. They seem like a well-off family, but she's gonna get ate alive once those details are public and spread around. Of course, I'm not going to say anything. I just mean in general. Yep, as she should. So these are supposedly text messages. And I can see, okay, these people, if these are real people, they ain't going to want to have their names out there in the public when they're disclosing these private conversations. Supposedly, all this is alleged. I'm just showing y'all what's out there on social media. That's where I got it from. Anyway, let's move along to the other bits and pieces, because this ain't it. This ain't even it. We're just getting started. So this person, again, I don't know if these are the same people. All that stuff is, anonymous. It's all anonymous. So here's the update. She's sticking to the she was abducted. So they're basically saying she's sticking to the she was abducted. Why am I struggling saying that word lately? Abducted story. She was lured into says she was lured into the woods by some people who lived in the woods. Described a person with orange hair, balding on top, and tied her up and drove her around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed her Cheez-Its for 2 days. And they painted her nails. What? I didn't read this earlier. I just realized it. I grabbed it for y'all to put in here and did all this stuff with it, but never read it. Oh, that's crazy. They kept her on 150 somewhere, and somehow she manages to get away and run through the woods to her neighborhood until she gets to her house and then goes to the hospital. Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage from her neighborhood, and it just shows her walking casually until she gets close to her house, and then she starts sprinting and flailing arms and acting a fool. Oh, Lord. I did not read that, y'all. Hold on. I'm like, y'all, now I gotta what? What? But this is good. This is good because if this is true, there's going to be evidence to back this up, because we know there are tons of Ring cameras on almost every, in every neighborhood. And those of us who have them and stuff, we know that you got the Ring app and neighbors sharing the videos and the neighborhood app. So if this is true, this is going to come out. This is going to definitely come out if it's true, with evidence, with real evidence. All right, so we're not done. I'm not done. Don't leave. We're not done. So anyway, they go on to say, I don't know who they covered up, another anonymous source. I'm not sure if these same people but it says with Hoover fire. So I think there's a continuation of that other one, what we just read. So with Hoover fire, so I've got pre-hospital and at hospital side of things, as well as Hoover PD info. And if I knew we wouldn't lose our jobs, which we need to feed our children, I would tell y'all all the tea, but I'm 99% sure, with the evidence to prove it, this girl had a psychotic break and has fooled the entire nation. Mind blown. This job has made me stone cold. Oh, so this is supposedly somebody who works in one of the officials. So I guess the police, actually, or in the police department. So anyway, I don't believe a word that comes out of anyone's mouth anymore. They will play you for a fool. I know some officers and some friends and stuff, and they are very cynical. They get, I see how that happens. Anyway, I doubt the public will get anything more than she's home safe and getting the help she needs. And that'll be it. LOL. If this girl was actually abducted for trafficking, she would have been halfway across the country by now. There's some truth to that. And that was one of my fears when, that started to come up as a possibility of trafficking. Good Lord, they're used to, when it comes to trafficking, within 15 minutes, she probably in another country. But anyway, this is interesting. I'm not done. Hold on. Hold your horses. So that's one piece of it. When they've laid it out, I don't know, again, they'd be totally made up. Some pieces connecting. Some pieces are definitely connected, but it could be totally made up. It's anonymous. We don't know where the source is. We just know supposedly it's somebody who works in the police, in law enforcement. We'll just say that. Don't know. Anyway, and I'll get to y'all comments. We almost done with my commentary, and then we'll get to the comments. So the other part of this story is the situation where they're saying that there was also issues with her and the boyfriend prior to all of this recently. One thing I saw last night, someone commented, and again, these are things I didn't know until doing more research today, was that the boyfriend had not even posted any photos of Carlee until she went missing. Meaning, you know, he's proclaiming that's his girlfriend, et cetera, when she's missing, and love her. And, you know, I'm a, you know, laser, you know, focused on finding you until I see you again kind of thing. But they're saying up until that, before that, he had never posted any photos of her. I'm not 100% sure of that because I didn't go digging to figure it out. But that's what someone said. And then I saw it some other places too, that some people were insinuating clout chasing. I'm not sure if that's the case at all, but that should be known as we lead into this part. So they're saying that the boyfriend had actually broken up with her prior to this situation. And wait, I'm jumping. Hold on. Here we go. So this person says, allegedly, if this is true, she needs to be arrested. And they were responding to a post by Mackenzie, who is saying, okay, so a source said, allegedly, I don't know none of these people, by the way, Carlee's boyfriend broke up with her and she wanted to do something drastic. But when it blew up like that, she went home. She made a call to her cousin from the hotel saying, I effed up. It wasn't supposed to go this far, and I think I'm in trouble. So they're saying that's a quote of what Carlee supposedly said to a cousin while she was at that Red Roof Inn hotel. So they say. They said this is how the Red Roof Inn came into the equation, and that's why her family showed up there. So I don't know if y'all remember from yesterday me saying that, showing that the mom was saying that they had the Life Alert 360. All of them have it. It was pinging saying that she was on the street next to the highway, which I guess is where the Red Roof Inn is supposed to be. Don't know for sure, but so that was being speculated as why they were there. However, they're saying that no, she was there, or the family was there because that's where they knew she was. So then the other piece of this, and maybe I should play this next. No, I'll do this. Like, should I jump around? Because we got some more with the Red Roof Inn. There's a contradiction to it. I'm gonna play a video on that contradicts. But let's continue with this part. No, I'm gonna play that now. Then we're gonna come back and then I'm gonna show you the other pieces of this. So anyway, this is police dispatch video or audio of supposedly them talking about on dispatch, talking about this whole Red Roof Inn thing in real time as they're still looking for her. And as I play this, I'm gonna jump off camera for a second, but I'm still here with y'all.
To be advised, child's now in the area of 3582 currently, the Red Roof.
1852.
26 is the responding units. I just spoke with the front desk clerk. They said that the family is not being hostile or anything like that, but that there was about 6 carloads of people that have just shown up over there.
5-4 copy. Did the front desk have anybody checked in under that name?
Negative, and according to the front desk, the message that the family got did not state which Red Roof Inn. They don't know if it's going to be Vestavia or.
Hold on. So yeah, that's I saw somebody say this too much. It is. That's how I'm telling y'all. I had found all this today, and then I'm like, oh, I got to pull all this together for y'all, and I'm still trying to process all of it. That's why I'm just like, I'm just vomiting out everything I found. Y'all figure it out. We'll figure it out together. Y'all help me figure it out. That's what we'll do. So anyway, the police are saying that that's real-time dispatch information. They're saying that she did not check into that river friend. They had investigated that. Doesn't mean that somebody couldn't have checked in under a different name or whatever. We got some other things that could be like, okay, well, I don't know still because of this. So we move on to the other piece of not only supposedly was she having issues with her boyfriend, the one who has proclaimed his love and searching through eternity to hopefully see her face again when he thought she was missing. Not only was there supposedly issues with him, but they're also saying that, I'll do this part. I'm about to jump. So there supposedly was another girl involved. So this allegedly, I don't know again, I'm just seeing stuff on social media. This allegedly is a direct message, a DM from Carlee to some other girl about her boyfriend. And this would have been, I guess, on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, look like Instagram. So anyway, this is Carlee. She's saying, bitch, please. He told me everything you said about me, and you thought I told him to say that. I wasn't even with him. You're delusional AF. If you think y'all little conversation was anything more than convenient, and the fact that he used you to get back at me out of anger. You want to talk about I don't compare to you on your worst day? Girl, bye. You're miserable, or at least should be being a stripper to provide for your child. I've heard you a hoe multiple times. I can say that word, hoe multiple times from multiple people. So not surprised you don't know who your baby daddy is. Mention me or contact my ninja again, and you'll see I'm not the one to play with. You don't want you and your whole family touched. You're poor. I'm rich. Okay. You're a stripper. I'm a nurse. You're ugly. I'm bad as F. You could never, pitiful bottom barrel asshole. Now go strip for a Happy Meal. The end. How was my reading? Jesus. I wish. I need my moderators, y'all. We might have to get us some backup moderators because y'all saying some stuff I want to pop on the screen. I can't keep track of it all. Cherokee, yes. Double life for sure. Double life for sure. It's a lot. It's a lot. We ain't done. We are not done. Don't you better not go nowhere because we ain't done. I told y'all. Y'all know when I research. I don't play with y'all. That's why it takes me so long to come out to y'all with videos because I don't play. Anyway, let's continue. So we go from that. So supposedly issues. Again, this doesn't have a timeline. It doesn't have a date. So we don't know if this was 2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, 15. I ain't gonna say 15 years. However long old Instagram is. We don't know for sure. There's just stuff that's out there that is having people come up with this narrative. Could be a true narrative, could not be. Could be pieces of the truth mixed in with rumors and all of that. Just putting it out here for y'all. So y'all know what's out here, what exists. Okay, so the other piece of what's out here and what people are saying is that hold on. I'm trying to multitask here. There we go. The other piece is that they are saying that she is what caused this situation is that she is pregnant. She's pregnant, and at the age of 25, which is not old, but she's pregnant at the age of 20. I mean, young rather, not young. She's pregnant at the age of 25, and in some way she's ashamed of this, I guess, because she's rich and the other person is poor and the other person is a stripper and she's a nursing student. But I'm joking. That's sarcasm, y'all. Because some people don't get sarcasm. They be like, why are you saying that? But not only is she pregnant, but they're saying she's pregnant by a 17-year-old. And her boyfriend ain't 17, so it ain't the boyfriend. So this is the other part of the rumor. So this person is saying, again, this is, I think someone is commenting on Facebook with this one. So it says, this is my state, Alabama. And the word is, I'm just repeating what I've heard, as I don't have any personal knowledge about it, that she is pregnant and the baby daddy is only 17. Now, I saw one of y'all comment yesterday. I think a couple of y'all commented last night in the chat about the 17-year-old being pregnant by the 17-year-old. I'm like, what? What are y'all talking about? Well, now I see where y'all got it from. So this is crazy. She's pregnant and the baby daddy is only 17. She's 25 with a serious boyfriend. And she did this to run off with him for a couple days. Now, that sounds just asinine, but okay. People saw her at a local hotel, and not long after that, an hour or so, she returned home. If this is true, she's obviously had no idea it would get so much attention. I'm glad she's okay, but I definitely think something's up. But again, this is what I'm hearing and seeing on social media. So yes, this person saying they're hearing and seeing it on social media, just like we do. The other thing, like, this would be like, I don't know, very convoluted, very, like, you would have to have some major issues in the sense of, how does she go from getting off work, going to pick up Mediterranean? And this is all speculation. This is us doing commentary. But if this were true, she got off work, she goes to get Mediterranean food, ends up with an extra order because they, I guess, apparently got her order wrong. They gave her extra food. She's talking to her mom. She calls her mom to say, I'm bringing you food. So I'm going to bring you this extra food. The mom is excited. We saw that in the newscast. The mom is saying she was happy because she knows her daughter loves her food. Sounds like the daughter's stingy, because I'm like, my mama wouldn't be like, oh, I couldn't wait till he got home to hug him because he was bringing me food. My mom would be like, thank you, because it's not odd for me to bring her food. But if I never gave my mama nothing, then maybe she would want to hug me for showing that I care. I don't know. So, but anyway, so the fact that her mom was waiting on her to come home with the food, it just seems very odd to involve your mom if your plan was to dip off with your underage side piece, who you're pregnant by, for a couple days. That just, like, it's a little bit. And also, thank you, Deborah. She left the car running. That part too. I saw someone speculating about the food as well, and it seemed like I was reading, but again, this is all speculation, that she left the food in the car, because that was a question too. Like, did she take the food with her? No, someone said that she took the food with her, which made that just wasn't making sense, but don't know about that for sure. Okay, so this is the other piece. Let me see. Oh, this was the other separate piece. But this person was saying, look on my page on the live, and they were saying she was at a public event yesterday, and that's why she went on home, because numerous people saw her. I'm finna see if I can find the page it was on. Her best friend said she was with her 17-year-old baby father at the hotel, but she promised her she wouldn't tell anyone. I guess the friend got tired of lying and leading people on. Wow. Again, I didn't read the details of this. I browsed it. I didn't know the best friend was involved. Portia Norwood, this person says, huh? Girl, she grown AF. Why lie about that though? I don't know. Probably someone gave her hush money or threatened her if she told. I guess they're referring to the best friend then. Why would the best friend keep that information? It just seems very, 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 it's crazy. I can't quite wrap my mind around all of these rumors. That's a lot. That's a lot on a lot of levels. I'm still processing. This is new. Y'all help me. We coming to the chat in a minute. Thank you so much, Alice, for joining in the background. So we had a moderator in the background. That's how the comments are popping up on the screen. So that'll help me as well. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, so this was a person who posted on Twitter a tweet that made me say this is partially how I think some people feel about the situation, because there's criticisms for those, you know, including me. I jumped, but anyway, I'll still read it. But criticism of people who are still commentating on it. They're like, well, the family said they want peace. They want to, you know, they want time or whatever. And so they want, some people feel like no one should be talking about this anymore. No one should on social media, none of these us bloggers, social media influencers, we should be quiet. We need to move on to something else and don't mention Carlee or this situation until the family's ready to talk about it. And that ain't how it works. That is not how it works. Now, we can talk about it. Now, nobody should be bothering them. Nobody should be calling them. Nobody should be popping up at their houses, digging into their personal information, doxing them. Nobody should be doing any of that. I agree 100%. But can we use our mouths and talk? Yes, we can do that. We can do that. Anyway, so this person says, these can all be valid at the same point. Being concerned about her and her the abduction. Yes. We could also be worried about the toddler if it existed. Yes. And we can also be elated that she's home safe, no matter under what circumstances, self-induced or not, happy that she's home safe, and wondering what happened to the toddler if it existed, and confused. We could also be confused by the entire event and the following of the silence from both law officials and the family. I'm giving them grace. Like, they can take their time. They can take their time. But giving the silence that's happening, it's not happening the way every other things have occurred. So people are entitled to do that. This is the world we live in now. I know some of us grew up in a time where, you know, information didn't spread as quickly and there was no internet and all of that. Well, then times have changed. Times have changed. So with that, we have, you know, the great social media divide with this whole thing. And as they say, the girls are fighting. The girls are fighting on the internet. Per usual, the girls are always fighting over something on the internet. They just like to find stuff to fight over. They're bored. And so we have a couple people. Well, there's been tons of people doing videos, especially on TikTok and stuff. But it was two that captured my attention that I saw on Twitter. And here is one. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it.
For me to be wrong, baby, because we still waiting. And my shirt says protect black women, just in case everybody's sitting here saying all they got to say about my video. I said what I said. She took that hot ass wig off and she staged that. And she didn't think that she was going to make the headlines the way that she did. So she took her ass home. Who dropped her off at home? The toddler did? Because where's the toddler at? Y'all kills me, okay? I said what I said. I'm not changing how I feel about it. And I'm out.
So that was one. I can take that one down. I'll take this down. That was one TikToker, and that was her perspective on it. And there, you know, there's a lot of people who have similar sentiments about it. Do you agree with her? 80% is moving. Y'all still voting, but the great majority of you actually do agree with her. So we're like at 80% and 20% say no. Then we have a different perspective on this as well. Pull this in. Give me a second because I got to go through the computer to get this one. Right. There's another TikToker with a different perspective on this whole thing.
So listen, I'm going to keep it a buck. You know, you want to know the reason why people turned on Carlee Russell so quick? It's because they never cared about Carlee Russell to begin with. All they cared about was the traffic that talking about Carlee Russell brought to their platforms. All they cared about were the clicks, views, and likes that discussing her case.
gave their platform. Her being found so quickly doesn't allow for them to continue to exploit her story for those clicks, views, and likes anymore. At least not in the same way. So they have to change tactic in order to keep that clout going. And now that they can't do that anymore, they big mad. And considering that the people who turned on her the fastest were her own people, just goes to show how many of us have actually internalized anti-blackness. How many of us have actually internalized anti-black womanness. Because anytime we can't exploit a black woman for our own benefit, we ain't got no use for her.
So again, there's a lot of perspectives out there. The black bonnet lady, I needed to make sure that I could tell the difference, which question I was asking. So I just call her black bonnet TikToker. 38% of you agree, and 62% of you, well, it's jumping around. So about 40% of you agree with the black bonnet TikToker, saying that no one really cares about or ever cared about Carlee. They only cared about the clout connected to covering this story. I guess technically I'm supposed to fall in that category. I would definitely disagree. Now, is this work? Yes. Is this a part of the nature of the situation, the game, so to speak? Yes, absolutely. But two things can be true at the same time. I do care. I did want her to be okay. I still want her to be okay. And I'm hoping that through the situation, whether it's a psychotic episode or whatever, or truthful or whatever, that she gets the healing that she needs, and that this doesn't, ruin her life or whatever. I think sometimes people overreach in situations like this, because I'm like, you're talking about other, bloggers, social media people, but you're doing the same thing. You're doing the same thing. You literally have a video out and you have a TikTok. So there's that. Okay. And you jumped on this story. Anyway, the other piece, and then we're going to get to y'all comments, is the comparison to the Jussie Smollett situation. And we talked about this last night a little bit. And I'm like, we talked about this a little bit last night. And I ran into this today because people ain't letting it go. That comparison to Jussie Smollett. I'm really hoping it's not that, it'll be explained. I don't know. I'm truly, for me, just the way I roll. And I know some people feel like we know enough. It's a lie. It's a hoax or whatever. I feel like I want to wait until all the information is in and it has been, shared, etc. That's just how I roll. I kind of treat it like the court of law. Court of law don't go on just opinions and all of that. You need factual evidence. You need it to be presented, and it's innocent until proven guilty. So that's how I roll over here. But with this last poll, do you think that this is another Jussie Smollett situation? Over 70% of you, it's moving. Y'all still voting. It's like now it's 68% of you say yes, you do believe that, and 31% of you say no, you do not think it's a Jussie Smollett situation. You're still waiting, or you have come to your conclusion, or you're still waiting on the information to come through. This last tweet that I saw that I felt was interesting. They're saying the police is quiet of an ongoing investigation, which likely, well, hold on, let me jump to where I can actually see the words. Police quiet because of an ongoing investigation, which likely doesn't involve a real toddler or kidnapper. Family quiet because attorneys have said, shut the F up. So their theory is the police is quiet because there is no real criminal act that has occurred technically as far as a perpetrator. And the family is quiet because they have potentially maybe gotten legal counsel that has said, say nothing because this can become big. I mean, it is big, but as far as the back end of cleaning up all of this can become really big. And the truth is, if this, and this was a thought I had, if this were to become a ruse in some way, there's a great possibility that her and her family, or mainly her, would end up owing the state back all of the money used for those resources to look for her over those couple days. I have heard of them doing that. So there's a possibility an attorney is involved. I mean, an attorney should be involved anyway with how big this story has gotten, and now they'll be in the media. And who knows if it's all true. The thought I had before she was found was, if she's found, maybe she becomes an advocate, and maybe she, starts to travel the country or the world speaking about, situations similar to this. So yes, Ebony Queen, it's all about facts. That's how I feel about it. Like, all of this I gave y'all, for me, it's speculation. Yes, some of it are but it's still not a fact yet until it has been investigated and proven. And so that's how I approach it. And if, that's just how I approach it. Right, Marlena B. And the bonnet lady wasn't doing the TikTok for clicks and likes. Pot meat kettle, exactly. I was like, you tried it. You tried it. Okay, I read that. Okay, we did that poll. And then the last piece I was saying, then we're gonna jump into the comments. Someone mentioned last night, and I was gonna try to find, I tried to find it before we went live, but it was, the live we had last night was 2 hours long, and we had, just as many comments, so I couldn't find it. But it was one of our people is a trucker, and they said in the chat, and I only saw it again after the replay. I hate when I miss stuff like that during the live chat, because I know y'all giving stuff too, and I'm missing it. But anyway, the person said that they are a trucker, and they said that they are aware through a trucker group chat that they have. The truckers, well, I don't know how they do it now, but back in the day, truckers had the CB radios, and they be talking. I have an uncle who's been a truck driver all his life, well, all my life. Anyway, so I've rode with him before, and I, know the crazy talk they do on the CB radio and all of that. So obviously they've upgraded, and now they have group chats. And so this person said that in their group chat, they were warning other truckers about this ploy to have little children along the side of the highways to get them to pull over and then rob them or whatever. And so they were warned that if they see a child on the side of the road, to not get out of the vehicle, out of their trucks, but actually to call 911 and not get out, because it could be a setup. So I hate I didn't. And if you're in here tonight, let me know if you're in here tonight, the person who typed that on yesterday. So I was like, wow, this was interesting to know that. And the co-driver saying you have a few family members that are truckers too. Yeah. So there's something to this. So I will say, no matter what's happening with this story, a cautionary tale to all of us to still be mindful that if we unfortunately see a situation like that, because on so many levels, you don't want a child to be victimized like that or end up in a situation like that. But also, if you see that, don't be so quick to get out of your vehicle and get involved in that way. Stay in your vehicle, call 911. God forbid, hopefully the baby don't run in the street, or it's probably a setup and the person probably watching. Maybe they got a little, what they call them, the little rope on the baby, like, and you just can't see it, but they tugging the baby to make sure they don't go too far on the highway. Who knows? Who knows? So anyway, I'm gonna get to the comments. I had started a few in the very beginning. I'm not sure. Oh, I think Alice has definitely started some, because I know I didn't start this many, but thank you so much. It's very helpful having my moderators, but we do need some backup moderators, because we're growing, and it's hard for me to manage all of this. So I'll be prioritizing like our Patreon people, or our executive people, and people in our like VIP text community, those who I communicate with or get messages from. Those people, if you have an interest in helping backstage moderate, just hit me up on one of those platforms. And you see the information scrolling across the bottom of the screen, the text community and all that good stuff. I've been forgetting to do that for quite a while now. Anyway, let's get into these comments. I feel like I want a commercial break, but I ain't got nothing to play. I could pull up something, but anyway, let's get through the comments. Let's do it. After this one, we have to go back to the pregnant male lady story out of Chicago. What happened to her? I didn't see any updates. I have no idea about this story. It's a lot. Y'all know I got like I have well over 200 stories like on the roster. I don't see everything that's happening out there. It's just overwhelming. So if you could send me more information on that or a link to an article, that would be great. But yeah, I don't know anything about that story. Interesting because it's in Chicago and I haven't heard it. Brand Pam is saying, this reminds me of the Tawana Brawley store girl wrote racial slurs in herself. Big lie she was with her boyfriend. Interesting. I started that one because I didn't know. I hadn't heard of that story either. Precious is saying, my thing is when they please give us our privacy, but we deserve us a real update since we did a real share on our timeline. Yeah, I still believe, and I hear that, but I just believe that there's obviously some healing that has to happen no matter what that situation is, whether it's hoax or some other mental health things, or whether it's literally all of this happening and just we haven't seen the evidence and she was abducted. Either way, there's some healing that needs to be done. And that's a lot. Like, hell, it's a lot for me to get on this camera in my office, my studio, and talk to hundreds of people. So I couldn't imagine, and many of you can't either, because some of y'all still don't want nobody to take a picture of y'all or put y'all on social media, put no videos of y'all on social media. So imagine having news crews, because that's what you're talking about when you're talking about them interviewing. News crews, cameras, lights, and all of that. And then they got to talk about something very personal or, airing out dirty laundry with the family or whatever. Like, yes, she did. She was pregnant. She fell out with the boyfriend or she was hiding this. Like, if that is the story, imagine having to do that and people saying, tell us now, give it to us now. That's a lot. That's a lot. Diamond Hard is saying, I'm not calling anyone a liar until we actually have an official update. Yes, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. We're on the same page. Anna D is saying, we never heard of a missing baby, and that was the race and gender seems very much made for money or attention. We haven't heard of the baby because they're saying there has not been a baby found, seen, reported, or anything else. So there's no baby, pretty much is what they're saying. I'm not thinking that if this was not true, I'm not thinking that she did it for either money or attention, because I think the attention is what made her maybe come back. Like they said, it was, oh my God, I didn't know this was going to get so big. I didn't know this would become national news. The truth is, we're not used to this. We're not used to seeing melanated women, and there are many who end up missing. It's always out there. Actually, I've done a few posts here and there and seen things that I've been meaning to do in relation to the fact that there are thousands of melanated women who go missing every single year and don't get a buzz, won't get not one news article on them. So it wouldn't be surprising if she thought I could, if this was a hoax, fake my missing, my disappearance, and then it wouldn't be that big of a deal. This was a lot different. This was a lot different. So I don't think she did it for attention and money. I would say because of the fact that they weren't asking for money. They've been given money, and offering rewards. So I don't see that. There haven't been any GoFundMe's. The family supposedly is, wealthy enough or well-to-do. She even said in her clapback to the stripper baby mama that she is rich and that stripper is poor. So it doesn't sound like this is a money grab, at least, from the little information we do have. Yes, we talked about that, giving Jussie Smollett vibes. Yeah, some similarities. Betty Johnson is saying she's lying because where is a description of the suspects? If this was true, they would need to get the word out and let the public know and be aware. Yeah, I think it's pretty clear at this point that there are no suspects left. Yeah, because the chief of police said he's gonna give them time and he'll talk to them later when they're ready to talk. So I think we're safe. There is no suspect. Renee S., at least she returned home. Reminds me of the one lady that was obsessed with Marvin Sapp. I vaguely remember hearing of that. I cannot remember the details because that was some years ago. But yeah, I did hear of it. I just can't remember any details. Too many stories in my head. Okay, I'm not reading a lot. I see I have like 32 starred comments. I'm not getting through all these. I can already tell my voice is hurting. My eyes are getting lost in the words. And we're almost at 2 hours. So I'm going to end it at the 2 hour mark. So I give y'all 19 more minutes. And we'll see what I get through. I may jump around some of the starred comments. Felicia B is saying she must have spoke to her mom too, because her mom said they forgot to put her food in the bag, and Carlee offered to give her mom food. Yeah, and I mentioned that part too. So yeah, she spoke with her mom at some point, but it must have been prior to her leaving the restaurant, or maybe as soon as she left. Who also knows that could have also been a text message as well. So don't know. We didn't get that level of detail. Integrity Woman is saying they are no longer refunding money back. It was updated about an hour ago. I live in Birmingham. So, okay, so now they're no longer giving the money back for the Crime Stoppers. So those who donated will not get their money back. That's interesting. And if you're still in the chat, Integrity Woman, did they say why they aren't giving it back? Is that because they need it for this particular situation to capture someone, or is it going into a pot for other missing people? Mahogany still says it's great that she has been found. I think that's probably my name, right? Bell. Vale. There are 3 to 4 year olds who still don diapers. 3 to 5 year olds are toddlers. Hopefully this story is not a farce. Well, in the early childhood ed field, we don't consider 3 to 5 year olds toddlers. As a childcare professional, I can guarantee you that. But I mean, yes, older kids. Yes, but when this happens, the 3 to 4 year olds having diapers, like now we're getting into a whole, like I'm getting in the professional side of stuff. But if a 3 to 4, well, I'll say 4 to 5 year old for sure, is still wearing diapers, that's because there's some issue there. There's a challenge. There's a developmental delay of sorts, or could be an environmental situation that has caused that situation. So I hear you, yes. And in a situation where someone would leave their child on the interstate, the chances are that child could be in one of those situations, environmental situations that causes them to need diapers at that point. Maybe never got potty trained. Let's say Felicia B is saying it was a reward for her return and she showed up and was not found. I can understand it being returned. Yes, you would think that, but they're now, I forgot who that was I just read, said it. They're now not returning, not refunding. Kingdom Girl ATL is saying it could have been any of us because we'd all most likely stop for a baby on the highway. Yes, prior to hearing this situation, and also our VPL member who is a truck driver, I would have just easily probably stopped and got out of my car too, especially seeing a toddler close to the interstate. Question, has the police said anything else? So we kind of talked about, I gave the most recent update that I've seen as of today. And the most recent was like 30 minutes during my research today. It was like this afternoon. It was like the most recent update was had been 30 minutes prior to that. Trikesha, this does not help with getting brown women national attention. Yeah, that is a little scary in the sense of for those who like to lump all African American people in one category, the fact to say, oh, we get somebody who get national attention and then it's a farce is not a good look. But hopefully it doesn't work like that. Hopefully it does the opposite and shows how much power there is when we give national attention to our melanated people who go missing. Ambitious Beauty is saying, hey, Vel, she's such a pretty girl. Probably was psychosis or something. I'm glad she's home safe. Yes, we'll see. We'll see if it was a mental health situation. Andrea Carr says, I saw several pretty reputable people saying a lot of these quote unquote rumors are being traced back to supremacists. Oh, okay. They do it with every controversy involving Black people. Yes. And you know what? Thank you for that, Andrew Carr, that reminder, because I have heard that before and totally forgot about that in this story, in this realm of what we're talking about. But there's definitely truth to that. They have bots, and they troll. They have trolled some of my videos. It's so ridiculous. It's like, y'all got a lot of time to hate on us because I have never, ever once thought to, had the desire to, care to, give a F to, ever go on their side trying to manipulate what they got going on. Stay lost. Stay part of the devil's minions. But yes, thank you for that reminder for sure. Latrace, we as Black women have to do better. Why do we tear each other down like this? Okay. I think all people, honestly, I see white people do this too. I when I see those comments, I'm like, do y'all follow white people? Because I'll hear people say, why do Black YouTubers be tearing each other down and gossiping about each other? And I'm like, do you watch any of the white people? Because I do watch some of them, the larger ones, in general, and they do the same thing. It looks different, but it's the same. They tear each other down. They gossip about each other. They, hate on each other. All of it. It's actually more than a race thing specific to being melanated. It's a human behavior. It's human. It's a human behavior. And then there are some people who, they're good. They don't behave as such. But then there's, a segment of society who does. And sometimes we're closer to that depending on the content that we view than the other. Sometimes it's that. Sonny Blowdro says, oh Lord, this plot is thicker than cold grits. Yeah. And I swear to God, as much as I just shared with y'all this evening, I'm sure there's some stuff I hadn't seen and missed and all of that, I guarantee you. Mika is saying, if this was the plan, it was not well thought out and poorly executed, not on board with all of this nonsense. Yeah, this don't sound like a plan at all, to be honest. If anything, speculation, of course, I'm giving commentary, but I would speculate that this was like impromptu and not necessarily planned, but maybe a mental health breakdown of sorts, an episode. My son brings me food all the time with no issues. Right. Yeah. Like, congratulations. Oh my God, you love me so much. You brought me your extra order that somebody gave you free. I don't know if I'm hugging you. Thank you. But I don't know if I'm hugging you for that. I don't know if I'm making a big deal out of that. Now, had you bought it, You bought yours and you bought me something thinking about me. That's a little different, especially if you don't do it. I don't know if I need to hug you for it because I'm going to raise you in a way that it ain't no big deal that you brought me food in that way, but I'm just different. I'm different. Neil 12 is saying it does not matter if you are in the medical field, a mental break can happen, and it does. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we the story was that during the pandemic, either that was 2020 or 2021, the nurse who left her job, she was distraught. I think maybe she may have been suspended or fired. This is in LA. And then she drove 100 miles an hour through an intersection and unalived, I think 6 people or something. I wanted to do that story back then, and just time took off, life took off, and I totally forgot. Even communicated with some people close to the situation behind the scenes. I never covered the story, but I still want to cover it because I don't know if she's had her trial or not yet. Y'all let me know in the chat if you know the story I'm talking about, and if you know if she had her trial. Andrea Carr says, people don't think, why call police on yourself before running away from the state, from a state where is legal. I'm not even sure I can say that word on YouTube, so I'm skipping it. Where is it when you know they could get you a felony? I mean, these reps even track that. That's why I don't think it was necessarily planned. It's very elaborate and yet not well thought out if it was planned in that way. Because again, like you said, why would you call 911? However, if it was a mental health breakdown of some sort and there's hallucinating going on, then I could see somebody calling 911, telling them what they're seeing, and then wandering off away from their car into the woods. Like, I could then see that. So that's the piece that makes me think that it's not, that it's, not necessarily planned in that way. Okay, Sonola is saying she ain't meet Nan Man without her wig. Carlee Smollett definitely lied. Well, she didn't say she met a man. And you're right, I didn't think about that. Like, you almost got to write this stuff down like a timeline with details to be like, wait a minute, so you would leave all your belonging and your wig and to go spend the weekend with a 17-year-old in a hotel? Yeah, that part, there's some pieces that are not connecting. Oh, interesting. Thank you, Andrea Carr. I'm seeing it'll take me a minute to get to your comment, but I'm seeing with the nurse I was just talking about in LA, you said she had a seizure. Apparently, she has an extensive history of them. Interesting, because that's a whole different take on the way that story was being presented when it happened, when people were saying, I think she was distraught over her job and maybe a boyfriend too, and they said she did it on purpose because she wanted to, unalive herself, and she was selfish and she tried to take people out with her. To find out it could have been a seizure. That's interesting. I got to dig into that story because I still want to cover it, even just for my own information. Lois M is saying she told 911 a baby was on the interstate alone because she knew the police would arrive quickly. She wanted to ensure her car wasn't left unattended. Lois, that's a reach. Like, why not just put my car on? Why take my car to if she was, and they said a red Mercedes-Benz, if her car was that important to her and she was only trying to hook up with a 17-year-old, park your car somewhere safe. Park it in a parking garage somewhere, dip off with him, and then come get your car later. Like, I don't know. Now that's quite a reach. Like, so she only called 911 because she wanted to make sure somebody got to her car quick so the car could be safe. Because it's like, now you're putting the police on your case. Now you're bringing attention to your situation. Now they're going to wonder where you are. Like, you're now causing people to look for you and have a lead of where you last left off, versus if she was just trying to dip off and disappear. She could have done everything, the Mediterranean restaurant, talked to the mama, said, I'm bringing you your plate, all that good stuff, and then just disappear. So now it's like, well, she's missing from either the Mediterranean restaurant between there and home, versus saying, no, we specifically know she stopped in this one spot within the last 5 minutes. She was here, now she's gone. Like, that's not what you do when you're trying to dip off and disappear and fall off the face of the earth and just have your car. I don't know. Maybe I'm misinterpreting what your statement is, but that sounds like quite a bit of a reach. Address unknown is saying publicity was wanted for the search. Now publicity is happening in search for the truth. I like the way you put that. It is very true. Very, very true. If Lotus is saying, if this is a hoax, it just makes it so bad for people who are real abduction victims. Yeah, very, very true. Because you don't want, what we don't want is any future situations. And unfortunately, we live in a world where there will be others. Hopefully no time soon, but there will be others. And hopefully people don't become even more cynical than people already are and start to say immediately when a person is still missing, oh, it's probably a hoax. They probably did this, or they probably, you know, at a Red Roof hotel, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, hopefully that it doesn't turn into that. Giovanni is saying Alabama police don't believe Carlee. That's why they're not looking for traffickers as we speak. It definitely looks like they have the answers they were looking for. It just seems that way. Reality show Benger says, this sent the community in a uproar. We deserve an explanation in a few weeks. Yeah, I believe a few weeks is reasonable. Even a couple weeks, I feel, is reasonable. Even to say by the end of this week, I think is somewhat reasonable. Maybe next week at the latest, I think is reasonable. It's just the people who wanted them to come out. What, she was found Saturday night. The people who wanted her to come out, them to come out this like that night at midnight. Like she was found at, well, I forget the time frame, but whatever it was, 10 or something at night, and they like, it's midnight, why she ain't said something to us? What? That's where I'm like, slow down, y'all, slow down. She's still at the hospital. Or by the time she get home, well, she at home now. Well, she's sleeping. Like, let them be. But anyway, Ro J is saying, in time, everything will be revealed. So no warning to the public regarding a possible suspect, a sketch of a possible suspect, so many unanswered. Yeah, so Ro, you were saying literally the same thing I said last night. Same thing, like there's no public warning, there's no sketch, there's no, wanted posters out, which says to me they're not looking for anyone. Why are they not looking for anyone is the real question. Don Smart is saying, it's so sad because so many African-American women and men go missing for real. It's not to mention, it's not mentioned as enough as it is. Very true. Very, 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 very true. That's why I try, I'm not that good at it, but I have the intention to try to promote and share those stories as much as when I run into them. I'll just say that when I run into them, and I need to do better because there are some that I have run into that I put on a list, and maybe I need to not put it on my content list and separate it and say, this is a right away story. This ain't work your way to it story. Perfectly Imperfect says, I think people turned on her because if it's a lie, this makes us look bad. I don't subscribe to that that group categorizing. I'm not her. That's not, I don't know them. So if she was on something, that don't reflect on me just because we happen to share a skin complexion, because that's probably about all we share, a race or whatever. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like when we do that. We got to stop doing that. Like, even in Africa, the reason we got, captured and brought over as slaves, our ancestors at least, is because of the fact that even in Africa, people's like, that ain't my brother, that ain't my cousin, that ain't my tribe. So they like, here you go, white man, take them. That's my enemy. So, but we come over here and everybody like, we black people, that ain't how we ever were. So I don't subscribe to that because there are people who behave horribly who are of the same race as me. I don't claim them. You claim them, but I ain't claiming them. And if she owns something, I ain't claiming her. I want her to be safe. I'm glad she's safe, all that good stuff. But if she owns something, I ain't claiming her like that. And I want nobody categorizing me like that. Andrea Carr, even so, they haven't attacked her or accused her. By now, they would have at least called her out and thrown suspicion her way. They haven't. This is white. AL. Say there is more to it. Okay, I'm probably, again, my the words are scattered. The words are scattered together. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. I thought I was working my way. I'm gonna finish them. Okay, I only got 8 more comments. I'm gonna finish them just because it's only a couple. That is why I said there is more to it. The police were skeptical in public from jump about Jussie. They leaked to the media from the start. That's not happening here, leaning towards something more to it. Yeah, I think this story is definitely more complicated. It's something. Healthy Girl T is saying, sounds like a real nervous breakdown. She took her wig and watch on her way home. And she may have just lost it. Possibly. This story isn't over because it's gained so much national attention. Yeah, and the thing about it, Don, is that even with me researching, like I said, it was updates from major news sources all afternoon even. And so, yeah, they're even like, okay, yeah, she's found, but what else is going on with this? What happened? So, yeah, you're right. The Simple Life 7 is saying, did Carlee herself said she was abducted, or was that suspicion from the public and her boyfriend? Since we haven't heard from the direct source, the abduction is simply a narrative at this point. Yeah, I mean, that's also a way to look at it as well. Simply the Simple Life 7, because she, at least, from the public perspective, she never said nothing on the 911. Well, from what they're saying on the 911 call, she only screamed. I'm sorry, she was on the phone with family. She only screamed, and then they heard ruffling and then the traffic noise or whatever, and that was it. That was the last they heard of her. She didn't say, I'm being kidnapped or I'm being abducted. Like, none of that was said. That was just a scream. So you're right. Who put that title on this? Us. It looked like us. And the only thing is that the boyfriend has later come out, in the post I even just read earlier, calling it saying that she had kidnappers. So, but from her, you're correct in saying from her directly, we never heard her say that. So for her to be called a liar and all of that, in that sense, she never said that publicly, at least. Donna Hammond is saying the pregnant USPS mail carrier is yet to be found. Word on the street is her boyfriend is a culprit. By the way, she lived across from. Oh, this is not a news story. This is, and let me know for in real time in the chat, Donna. This story is a few months old, right? That's what threw me off. I do know if this story is, I don't know, some months old, I've definitely heard about it and intended to do. Did I not do this? Did I do the story? No, I didn't do the story on this, but I definitely have researched it. I probably got notes right here. So I think y'all talking about that story. If so, let me know. And if so, I need to move that up. Yes. Okay. Felicia B is saying it's several years old. Yes. Okay. When whoever mentioned it at first, it made me think it was a newer story. That's why I was like, oh, I ain't never heard of that. And I wasn't thinking about the details until Donna clarified it. That's also this is an example, because I get a lot of messages and I appreciate the story or that people say, Vale, have you seen? And then it'd be like, Vel, have you heard of Mr. Thomas and what happened to him? And I'm like, who the hell is Mr. Thomas and where? It's like, I need a link or details and say, Mr. Thomas Rice of North Carolina or Chicago, Illinois, who this happened to him. At least if I got to Google it, y'all got to help me with the detail. Otherwise, honestly, I get so many recommendations now. If I don't get enough details, I'm like, hey, can you tell me more? And then it just falls to the back burner. Like, I got a story. I got two though that were recommended last week that actually moved up. We'll be talking about them this week. But yeah, just give me details when you if you're recommending, because otherwise, it's just a lot of information. I run into new stories every single day, like at least probably 10 plus every day. IAmVellB React says, oh, okay. I didn't know what to do with the comment Eleanor Blast. Yeah, I don't know who that is. If you can send, like, say who that is or whatever, if it's something I'm supposed to look at. Andrea Carr, they are saying that nurse. Oh, I read that. I said that from the live chat. Look at us, almost done. And thank you for everyone who's been commenting. I'll see your comments when I do watch it on the replay. Andrea Carr says, oh, she's still on trial though. Okay. But her neurologist saying that it's her history. Oh, I need to really dig into that story then. If it's ongoing and that to hear that new development is interesting. Jules 808 is saying, Vel, I remember when you posted recently in Facebook group, you saw a baby in the driveway while walking and was conflicted with what to do to you. Finally saw the dad actually there, but not attentive. Yes, thank you for that reminder. Honestly, it kind of popped in my mind a little bit, but because it was a different, and the area and the fact that this child belonged to a house, I definitely knew that. But for those of you who don't know, and this is why you should consider, and I have it pinned in the. I don't have it pinned. What the hell? I pinned my comment saying hello to Diamond Heart? Oh, I forgot who it was earlier. This is what I meant to pin. But anyway, if you want to follow me on Facebook or any of Instagram or any of my other platforms, that's where I share like daily stuff. And I'm getting better at sharing like these stories that I do run into that I just honestly don't have the bandwidth to create stories on until I get a team to help with that stuff. But anyway, you want to follow me, see me more often, and all the stuff that's coming and behind the scenes, all that. All the platforms I'm on, you can click that link. It'll take you to it. But anyway, so the story that Jules that I shared on Facebook was that I was walking down a cul-de-sac, and as I was walking down the sidewalk, I saw a little toddler. This child was about 3 years old, so a toddler with Pampers on, no other clothes, just the Pampers, no cowboy boots though, no cowboy boots, just the Pampers, and they were maybe 6 or 7 houses ahead of me. Me, the way I operate in the area I walk in, suburban area, kids are usually out playing in the front yard and stuff. It's not unusual, and so I usually cross the street. I'm a grown man walking by myself, Black man in the neighborhood that is different. And so I don't walk through the kids. I always kind of cross the street. So I did that as I normally do. And as I'm crossing the street and I'm walking past that house, and now I'm directly across, I noticed, as I'm getting closer, I noticed that there's another child that's in the back of a SUV, the door's up, and this child is climbing over groceries or whatever. And that child is a little older and completely naked. And so I'm like, oh. And so I'm just knowing that there's a parent around. So as I get directly across the street, I'm looking, but trying not to look too hard, because I ain't trying to have nobody calling the police on me for being a pervert. But I'm like, who got their babies outside, butt naked? And I see no adult. So I walked past the house. It was a cul-de-sac, so I knew I had to turn around. And I'm just observing. And now I'm like, okay, do I need to call? I'm like, I can't go over there and knock on the door and say, do you know because I have seen children get out of the house, parent inside, napping or something, and the kid then ran out and they don't even know their kid outside. I've heard of that. And so that was one of my thoughts, is like, they obviously don't know that both their little kids that made it outside and they playing in their truck, in the trunk, and one is butt naked. So I'm like, okay, I can't go over there and ring the doorbell because now I got to be next to the naked kids. I can't be doing that. Just can't trust it. And so, because y'all need me. Y'all don't need to see me on nobody's news. And then y'all gonna be like, I didn't know Vell was like that. No, Vell ain't like that. So anyway, I was like, okay, the only recourse I really have is to call 911. So I said, I'm gonna give it I walked to the end of the cul-de-sac and I had to turn around, and now I'm walking back the opposite way, about to leave that particular block. And I was like, I said, when I get to the end of the block, I got to do something. Got to the end of the block, still no adult. And so, now, mind you, this is probably 3 minutes total. And so I'm getting ready to dial 911 because I'm like, I literally have no choice because I cannot go. I don't trust going over there to that house because I don't want nobody saying I did nothing. And so as I'm about to dial, literally about to hit the first 9, then here comes a man out of the house. He has an infant in his hand, and you could tell that he's unloading groceries from the truck. So that's why the kids were in there in the back of the truck. And one had run in the house once and come right back out. So it was a whole thing. But anyway, I was like, I had jokingly said in our Facebook group that I should have came back later when the mama was at home and told on the daddy. Because it's like, what the hell? Your kids are outside. And that was minutes. If I, God forbid, was a predator, those kids was gone. For real, for real. Like scooped up and gone. Horrible. So, but it's the kind of neighborhood where everybody kind of trusting like that, but you can't be that trusting. So anyway, but yes, so that was a story similar to that. And that just shows how, again, early childhood background and all of that, and working in that industry, I've always had to be mindful of how I moved as a male in a female dominated industry, and just all the stigmas against men who are even interested in child development and caring for children and all of that. I'm good. I'm better than most of the women I work with. It's just the truth. So, but when it comes to, children and teaching them and all of that and all that. So anyway, that was the story. And even in that case, I wasn't just finna walk up to no child. The young lady, I think we're talking about still maybe the postal worker, Kiara Cole. Let me check real quick. See if this is one of the stories I got. I feel like it might be. Uh-oh, here we go. Wait. Yep. Her name is Kiara Simmons. Oh, no, Kiara Coles. Why did I put Kiara Simmons? I do have it. I have it right here. I had started doing the research on it. I didn't complete it. Like I told you, I got hundreds of stories over here. But I literally started doing the research on it. Why did I call her? Maybe I guessed her last name when I called her Carlee Simmons. Yep. Okay, well, I guess, yeah. Maybe I'll do that story at some point in the future. For real now. Anyway, it is, I'm seeing people saying 11/11. That's over on the East Coast. It's 11/11. But that's all I have for y'all. We've this went over. I thought we'd be here maybe an hour and a half. But that's what we have for now with this particular story. We will see what develops over the next couple days. If there are major developments with this story, then we'll come back and talk about this topic. If not, if we get a couple days where it's a little quiet with this story, then I will move on to the other stories that are on my list for this week. Again, I got like 6 stories that we got to get to this week. So you will be seeing quite a bit of me this week, and hopefully I can get consistent. So got to get consistent. I really don't have a choice at this point. But with that, I thank everyone for joining me this evening. Thank you to Alice Blessed Child of God for joining me on the front end, and especially in the back end. I needed it. And also Don Smart, and I saw Trikeisha was there, and Precious G, and if I missed anyone, Marianne Coker, and any of my other YouTube front end monitors, I greatly appreciate. What did I call y'all? Okay, I'm tired. I can't even think of the name. But thank all of y'all. And I will see y'all in the next video. So until next time, follow me because I do notify y'all when I'm going live. And yeah, follow me. Click that link in the chat above and also in the description area because after the live stream, it's in the description area where you can follow me on all platforms. So with that, until next time, take care and be blessed. Peace.